It was a momentous occasion last week when together the multi-party Chartists got, to decide at least they're going to be fighting the election together, and should they win, should they get more than 50%, they will be working together to make South Africa better. Amongst those charters, one of the 7 political parties is the Independent SANCO, or Independent South African National Civic Association, ISANCO. Its leader is Dr Zukile Luyenge. You would have seen him on television if you watched much of it with a trademark hat. He's joining us now to give us some more insights. Zukile, thank you for joining us this afternoon. And the story is, if you could, maybe your own history, just take us through a little bit of that. You are began as a political activist in the Eastern Cape many, many years ago, broke with the ANC when was it, 2019?
Yes.
And the reason for that?
I was sick and tired of standing for something that I know that it is not a truth. And it is then called politics, when I am not precisely a politician, but I am an activist of development.
And ISANCO, being an independent arm of the SANCO, which many people know from the apartheid years, how did that come about?
During the establishment of SANCO in 1992 in Port Elizabeth, it was a launch of a federation of civil society organizations, which was correct because we were coming from the era of the UDF, which was a federation of all civil society organizations, your Soweto Civic Associations, Mthatha Civic Associations, and there was no political ideology that was being used or an alignment to a particular ideology. So every kind of a community-based organization and civil society organizations were there. A mistake that we did in 1992, and that was not even supported by the late Tatu Mandela, when SANCO leaders briefed him that, no, we want to be in the alliance with the ANC. And Tatu Madiba was not comfortable with that because he was saying, you are now selling the struggle of the communities because now you will be towing the line of the ruling party, even if the ruling party was not the ANC. Were you going to join that alliance if it was not by the ANC? Therefore, it means you are a duplication of the ANC. It is not going to work. So Tatu Madiba did not support that. Even then President Zuma, the former President Zuma, in 2014, when he was launching a structure, who was opening a structure of SANCO in the national conference in Mthatha in 2014, he said he warned the delegates that you as members of SANCO, you must know that you are not supposed to be politicians. Instead, you are activists of development. You should be champion issues that affect communities, especially development.
And then?
Since then, I became a champion of introducing the notion of reconsideration of the alliance, whether it is relevant for SANCO to be in the alliance as led by the ANC. So now people who were in the correct proximity to be in SANCO in order to benefit from the deployment of the ANC did not want to hear that. Up until then, I declared to the leadership that was there to say, all those who want to work for the people, we will go out, and those who want to work for the ANC as a party, it must happen as such. Otherwise, we are selling out and compromising the struggle of communities. And then it happened as such. It was in 2020 when we went to the first conference. I was elected the president of ISANCO, and we said we are independent. We remain a civil society organization, but we will contest state power because political parties alone have actually let us down. Fortunately, I had and I still have an experience of being in the ruling party and also to be in the opposition party. Then I said, my being an activist is more relevant than to be a politician. But we must fight state power because the Constitution allows even the clergymen to be to fight for state power. And then it was only 6 months before we went to the elections of 2021. We got a support that I never expected, that we garner 14 proportional representative list seats in different municipalities across the country. And then we said, let us move forward and contest the 2024. And the 2024 provincial and national elections won't be able to be won by one party. No one is going to get 51%, be it the ANC or any other party, but we will look for the like-minded minds. Those parties that are thinking like we do, we will join hands with them. And that actually came out to be this pact, which was actually inviting people to a national convention in Emperor's Palace. We went there and we were quite happy with the manner in which the gathering was conducted, with respect and with understanding as to with their parties that are coming from various backgrounds. Others are coming from diverse areas of our country. But the common principles and the common ground was raised amicably and mutually too.
14 councillors in 6 months, that's pretty good going. I do notice that they are not just in one province.
Yes, Alec. They are not in one province. We have those are from the Eastern Cape, from Free State, from Mpumalanga. We are now in Limpopo now. We are getting support even in Limpopo now. We have Western Cape, we have KZN. But now we are growing now as an organization.
Have you fought any by-elections since the November 2021 local elections?
Yes, we did contest 2 by-elections. And our idea was to say, let us re-register ourselves in the minds of the voters to say, ISANCO is still here and is here to stay. We registered a very good showing in Mthatha, in Mthatha, King Sabata Dalindyebo, as well as in Mshonto municipality, even though we did not win those wards. You know, we have this referee who is a referee and the player at the same time called IEC. And that IEC is still going to mess up, but I will make my presentation to the charter to make sure that we actually discuss this issue of having a referee who is also a player at the same time.
So what kind of percentages did you get?
The problem that has taken place, and in fact it has been there is a decline in terms of the interest of the people to vote, more especially for the by-elections. The turnout was very poor, and in that we managed to get plus minus 4 to 5% in the 2 wards.
So if you were to replicate that around the country, then clearly that you'd be a force to be reckoned with. If you could get 4 to 5% in Parliament, what is your target and how might you achieve that?
I must tell you, Alec, and the dear listeners, ISANCO cuts across in terms of the support and the interest of the people that I'm talking to. On hourly basis, I talk to 5 to 10 people, new people that are joining the organization. And also people there, they are coming as individuals and others are coming as groups, be it they NGOs or community-based organizations. And then I am pretty sure the charter will be able to make more than 51%. That will not be a fluke, I'm telling you. And I'm quite sure of this because of the following that we are getting. I'm not looking upon the contribution of others. I'm looking at my strength and my organization and the way we do things and the response that we are getting. If I can tell you now, we are working with traditional leaders. We are working with churches, and we are working with women and youth structures that are not aligned to the ANC. And those that are aligned to the ANC are contemplating to come as groups. But I don't want to declare that now because it's something that I never expected, that there are those sectoral organizations who are also sick and tired, like myself, of what the ANC, this destruction in this country.
And is that across the provinces?
It's across the provinces. It's in Northern Cape, it's in KZN, it's in Free State, it's in Limpopo, it's Northwest.
So you've got a structure there already through the old SANCO, or the ISANCO as it now is, South African National Civic Organization. Why, though, are people, when it comes to 2024, going to vote for you and not for the ANC?
In the first place, people who actually voted for the ANC in the beginning, but their votes did not mean anything in terms of a betterment of people's lives. So those votes continued to stay with the ANC, but they meant nothing in terms of their development. And unfortunately, I was part of that because as a SANCO leader, I happened also to be in parliament, both in provincial and national legislatures. But the experience that I got from there was that there was no stage where the ANC was ever serious about improving the people's lives other than enriching certain individuals that are in leadership of the alliance, as well as those that are in close proximity with them.
So that penny has dropped. The normal people have come to realize, hang on a minute, what we were promised is not actually being fulfilled.
It's a critical issue because it is just like that. But now I might not be able to tell you as to why people all of a sudden can see that, even though we were then saying, no, we must just pour this water out because the chicken has run away. Then people are coming back with more vigor to say this Rainbow Nation government is going to bring change. And then that is actually revitalizing the interest of the people to come back and vote.
What did it feel like for you, being an ANC stalwart, being an activist, being an anti-apartheid activist going back all those years, to be sitting in a room with so many different political parties as you did last week?
It is something that is normal in a country, in a developing country like South Africa, emanating from the principles that were applied during the apartheid era. Now, a democratic era like this one, since 1994, any organization that was there, that was established post 1994, that is a product of democracy. So I am one of them. When I was working against the opposition parties who happened to have been there, but in fact, even if they were there in different political parties, it means that the democracy is actually playing its toll to ensure that those who were not seeing things like they were before, but today they are able to identify the most challenging aspects that would take South Africa back, and no one wants to go back to the era of apartheid. And everyone else have seen the problems that were created during that time. But it is also problematic to have a democratic government that is full of corruption, which is unethical. It's an immoral conduct that cannot be expected and retained.
So we must try democracy in an honest way into the future. And you are waving your flag to say that this ISANCO will be part of that charterist. When you said that you think that the charterists or the multi-party grouping, the Rainbow Coalition, would get 51%, what makes you confident? Because the pollsters are saying to us, that's not going to happen.
Those who are just watching as to what should happen for whatever reason, I have tested the ground. I have been in the game. I am working with the communities across the political spectrum. And even now, people from diverse directions in our country are supporting this idea of ISANCO, even if it means the role that we are going to play, that we are playing as ISANCO, is not going to be believed to be real, because by now I can tell you that all those surveys that are actually shooting down the progress that is going to come with the charter, they are going to be so they will be shocked to learn that their surveys were not correct at all, because it is real and it is practical to change the minds of the people. That transformation of the mind, it was never applied before, because people wanted to keep those that are poor to actually look at saying, no, this country is in this government, we are getting these grants as if we must remain into a welfareism kind of, when we are supposed to be moving towards social development. So it's the mind changer what we are bringing as the charter.
Dr. Zukile Luyenge is the head of ISANCO, and I'm Alec Hogg from biznews.com.